Have you ever woken up feeling your heart beating harder, not knowing why? Or felt tired just climbing a few steps, even while being well rested? Well, many people think this is part of aging. But what if I told you there's a simple habit that can change all this? One that cardiologists use in their daily lives and recommend to their patients. It's not a miracle drug, nor a complicated diet. It's a small adjustment in how you eat, especially at night, that can help your body clean your blood, unclog your veins, and reduce the risk of clots that can lead to heart attacks or strokes. Before we get to the solution, it's important to understand how the heart works and why it needs special care as the years go by. The heart is a pump that works non-stop, day and night, to deliver oxygen and nutrients to every little part of our body. It ensures that blood circulates, that organs receive energy, and that we feel alive, energetic, and alert. But over time, this pump can start showing signs of fatigue. Arteries become more rigid, blood thickens, and circulation slows down. And that's when problems begin. Often, what seems like simple tiredness, a small chest pain or swelling in the legs, can be a warning sign. But these signs, unfortunately, go unnoticed. Or worse, they're normalized. We often hear phrases like, "It's age," "It's just pressure," "It's the heat." And so the problem grows silently. Cholesterol accumulates, clots form, and suddenly, what was just a small pain becomes a scare at the hospital. Mrs. Margaret, for instance, is 74 years old. She was always active, walked every day, took care of plants, shopped alone. But in recent months she started feeling heaviness in her legs. Then came forgetfulness and headaches. Her family thought it was emotional. But one day, trying to get up from the sofa, she lost her strength. She was taken to the hospital and discovered she had a small stroke. Nothing too serious, thank God, but enough to change her routine. Today, she needs help with many tasks, and more than that, lives in fear that it will happen again. And all of this could have been avoided if the signs had been taken seriously from the beginning. The truth is that the heart gives signs. The body speaks, but we need to learn to listen. Tingling in hands or feet, constant fatigue, chest or back pain, shortness of breath, rapid or irregular heartbeats, mental confusion, and even difficulty sleeping. All of this can be related to cardiovascular health, and most importantly, this is not normal. It's not a natural part of aging to live in fear of your own body, and much less to depend on medication for everything. Of course, there are cases that need medical treatment, monitoring, and even medication. But what many people don't know is that you can do your part every day with simple choices that strengthen the heart and make your blood lighter, cleaner, healthier. And diet is one of the main tools for this. Many people still think that taking care of the heart is just about cutting salt or fat. But the reality is broader. There are foods that inflame the body, that hinder circulation, that increase the risk of clots. On the other hand, there are ingredients that are true allies of the heart, that clean the arteries, that help the liver better process fats, that reduce pressure and cholesterol. And most interestingly, many of these foods are in your home right now, waiting to be used the right way. Have you heard of natural anticoagulant foods? Foods that help blood circulate more easily? Many cardiologists recommend small changes in nighttime eating to help the body recover during sleep. Because it's at night that the body works on repairing tissues, cleaning the blood, regulating hormones. Therefore, what you eat before bed can make a big difference. And this is great news, because it means that even as age advances, there's still something to do. There's still time to take care of your heart. There's still time to live well. It's common for many elderly people to set aside their own health because they believe it's too late. That things are as they are, period. But that's not true. And I want you to know this with absolute certainty. Your body is still alive, active, and full of recovery capacity. The heart is a resilient organ. If well cared for, it responds, it strengthens, it renews itself. And you feel this in practice. More energy, more mental clarity, more lightness in daily life. Cardiovascular health experts are increasingly attentive to this. Today, medicine already knows that prevention is much more effective than treatment. That changing eating habits can be more powerful than taking a pile of medications, and the best part, without side effects, without absurd expenses, without suffering, just with an adjusted eating routine, with care and awareness. Of course, it's not about magic, but about consistency, about choosing every day what will nourish your body and help your heart beat with strength and regularity, about understanding that health is not just in the doctor's office, but in the kitchen, at the table, on the plate, and that you can indeed be the protagonist of your longevity. Perhaps you're wondering now, but what exactly do I need to eat? How does this work in practice? What are the right foods to include at night that can help clean the blood? Stay calm, because in the next segment we're going to talk about all this. We'll explain exactly how the circulation process works, what might be hindering your heart health, the most common mistakes people make without realizing, and how to avoid these slip-ups in daily life. And most importantly, you'll understand why so many people try to care for their heart the wrong way, and how this often only makes the situation worse. But you don't need to worry, because we'll also show with clarity and simplicity what really works, and all based on what science has already proven and what cardiology specialists have been applying to their own patients, and even to themselves. You don't need to live in fear of the next scare. You don't need to accept that fatigue, pain, and fear are part of your routine. There are alternatives, there are paths, and there is hope. What you'll discover next can transform not only your health, but also your relationship with life. Because when the heart is well, everything around improves, energy returns, joy appears, and even the mind becomes lighter. So take a deep breath and continue with me. In the next segment, we'll dive even deeper into this subject and show in a clear way everything you need to know to take care of your heart with awareness, simplicity, and mainly with hope. Now that we've understood the importance of caring for the heart and how small body signals can be a silent alert, it's time to delve a little deeper, because understanding what's happening inside our body is the first step to regaining control of health, with awareness and confidence. When we know what's behind certain symptoms, everything makes more sense. And that's exactly what I want to show you now. Let's start with blood. It may seem simple, but blood is responsible for bringing life to every cell in your body. It carries oxygen, nutrients, hormones, and also helps eliminate what the body no longer needs. But for this to happen properly, it needs to circulate freely. And that's where arteries and veins come in, functioning as roads through which this blood passes all the time. However, these roads can become congested. Fat plaques, accumulation of waste, inflammations. All of this disrupts the blood's path. And when blood encounters barriers, it begins to accumulate, to circulate with more difficulty, to become denser, thicker. Have you ever heard someone say that blood is thick? This has to do with this process. Thick blood is not an official medical condition, but it's a popular way to describe denser blood, more prone to clot formation. And clots are like small blockages that, if formed in the wrong place and at the wrong time, can cause a heart attack or a stroke. Is it scary? Yes. But at the same time, it's something that can be prevented. And this brings hope, because with the right information, we can change the course of history. Another term that deserves attention is the so-called silent inflammation. Many people think that inflammation is only when there's pain, fever, or swelling. But there's a type of inflammation that happens chronically and discreetly without apparent symptoms. It erodes the walls of the arteries, hampering circulation and favoring the accumulation of fat and waste. This inflammation is caused by various factors: diet rich in sugar and bad fats, sedentary lifestyle, constant stress, irregular sleep, and even excessive use of certain medications. And here comes another important point. With aging, arteries lose part of their natural elasticity. They become harder, narrower. This is a common process, but not inevitable. With the right care, it's possible to delay this aging and keep arteries healthy for much longer. The problem is that many people, upon realizing that something isn't right, rush for quick solutions. Extremely restrictive diets, pills without prescription, supplements bought on the internet. And this can end up making everything worse. It's not uncommon to see elderly people trying to follow fad diets that completely cut out carbohydrates, for example, or who spend long periods fasting thinking this will solve their cholesterol or high blood pressure problems. But an elderly person's body doesn't respond the same way as a young person's body. When the organism doesn't receive the nutrients it needs, it enters alert mode. And this can cause more stress on the heart, decreased immunity, and even loss of muscle mass, which further aggravates the condition. Another common mistake is self-medication. You know that medicine a friend recommended, or that natural capsule they promised works miracles. Well, what works for one person doesn't always work for another, and without proper guidance the risk is high. Some medications, for example, thin the blood too much. Others interact with medications the person already takes and can cause serious side effects. That's why any and all changes need to be made responsibly, with awareness, with guidance. We also can't ignore the excess of contradictory information. The internet is full of health advice, but not all of it is safe or true. One day they say eggs are bad, the next that they're miraculous. Then a new diet appears, a new tea, a revolutionary technique. And amid so much it becomes difficult to know who to trust. This creates confusion, frustration, and even discouragement. Many people simply give up trying, thinking nothing works. But calm down, because amid all this noise, there are clear paths, and they involve something that is simple, accessible, and powerful. Nutrition. What you eat, especially at night, has a direct impact on how your body recovers, cleanses, and protects itself during sleep. While we sleep, the body enters repair mode. It works to regulate hormones, process food, eliminate toxins, and renew cells. And when nutrition collaborates, this process happens more efficiently. Now imagine the opposite. A heavy dinner full of bad fats, processed meats, sugar, industrialized foods. All this overloads the liver, disrupts digestion, increases inflammation, and impairs sleep. And then, instead of recovering, the body spends the entire night trying to deal with what it received. And the heart feels this. It has to pump more, deal with more toxins, face more effort. And the next day, you wake up tired, with leg pain, with a heavy head. Sound familiar? Seemingly harmless habits like eating late at night, overusing salt, not drinking enough water, or skipping meals also contribute to this scenario. And often these behaviors go unnoticed. They're things we do automatically, without realizing the impact they have in the long run. And this is important. What you do today will reflect on your health tomorrow, and with the heart, it's no different. That's why it's essential to look at these details with care, and not with guilt. Nobody makes mistakes because they want to. Many people go through this and make these mistakes without realizing it. But stay calm, because in the next segment we're going to talk about what really works. And look, it's simpler than it seems. The truth is that you don't need to get lost in complicated diets, nor spend fortunes on miraculous products. The secret is in consistency, in including everyday foods that help your blood circulate better, that clean your arteries, that reduce silent inflammation and protect your heart. These foods exist, and they're easy to find, and you'll learn about all of them in the next segment. Additionally, we'll show you how to create a nighttime eating routine that helps the body recover while you sleep, with simple, accessible, and tasty combinations that you can adapt to your taste and reality. No restrictive diets or extreme sacrifices. What you'll see is a gentle, healthy, and effective proposal. So stay with me, because in the next segment, we'll open the path to solutions that many cardiologists use. We'll present the right foods, the habits that make a difference, and the steps you can start taking today to take care of your heart with lightness, pleasure, and tranquility. Because yes, it is possible to age with health, autonomy, and joy. And it all starts with a choice. Now that we understand what might be hindering the proper functioning of your heart, it's time to talk about solutions. Yes, the most anticipated moment has arrived. And I want you to receive this content with hope, because everything we're going to talk about here is simple, accessible, and can be applied by anyone, including you. Many people think that changing heart health requires enormous sacrifices, but it's not quite like that. Small changes made regularly are capable of transforming your energy, your disposition, and even the way you see life. And the best part is that you can start today. To begin with, there are natural foods with anticoagulant, anti-inflammatory, and heart protective actions. And that's what I want to talk about now. Because these foods not only help prevent diseases, but also help clean the blood, lower blood pressure, balance cholesterol, and facilitate circulation. Now tell me in the comments, where are you from? And also if you've ever tried any specific diet for the heart. I really want to know what you've already tried, what worked for you, or if it's the first time you're hearing about this. One of the most effective tricks, recommended by several cardiologists, is to use the power of nighttime nutrition to improve cardiovascular health. And here's a simple, practical, and powerful tip. Try drinking a turmeric tea with lemon before bed. Turmeric, also known as earth saffron, has potent anti-inflammatory properties. When combined with lemon, which is rich in antioxidants and vitamin C, it helps the body reduce inflammation, reduce clots, and improve circulation quality during the night. And it's during sleep that the body best takes advantage of this type of action, as it is in repair and regeneration mode. Another wonderful option is to eat a handful of walnuts or nuts at night. They are rich in omega-3, a healthy fat that helps protect the heart, reduce bad cholesterol, and increase good cholesterol. Additionally, they contain important minerals like magnesium and potassium, which help regulate blood pressure. Eating about 5 to 8 units is already enough. Ideally, choose versions without salt and consume regularly. And we cannot forget extra virgin olive oil. 1 tablespoon at night can be a great ally. It helps clean the arteries, improve the elasticity of blood vessels, and has antioxidant action. It's important that the olive oil is of good quality and used raw, meaning not heated, to preserve its benefits. It can be consumed pure, with a small piece of whole grain bread, or used to dress a light salad at dinner. If this made sense to you, share it with someone who also needs this information. It can make all the difference. Sometimes a small piece of advice like this can completely change the course of someone's life. It can prevent a scare, a hospitalization, or even something more serious. So share it with care. Someone you love might need exactly this. Besides these tips, there are other combinations you can include in your heart's dinner. One of them is ginger tea with cloves. Ginger improves circulation, has thermogenic action, and aids digestion. Cloves, in turn, have analgesic and antioxidant properties. The ideal is to boil for about 5 minutes, strain, and drink while still warm. It's great for those who feel swelling in the legs or feet at the end of the day. Another excellent option for the end of the night is oats with cinnamon. Oats are rich in soluble fibers that help reduce cholesterol and stabilize blood glucose. Cinnamon improves insulin sensitivity and has a mild vasodilator effect. You can prepare a light porridge with plant milk or even mix it with fruits like banana or apple. It's delicious and a true kindness to the body. Also include red fruits in your routine. Strawberry, blackberry, blueberry, and raspberry are rich in antioxidants that fight free radicals and protect the heart. If you can't find fresh fruits, you can opt for frozen ones, which preserve much of the nutrients. A natural juice with these fruits, or a colorful salad with them, can be a perfect and healthy dessert. And speaking of nighttime routine, it's important to remember that it's not just food that influences heart health. Simple habits also make a big difference. For example, avoiding screens, cell phone, television, computer, at least 1 hour before bedtime helps improve sleep quality. Deep and restorative sleep directly contributes to cardiovascular health, because it's during this period that the body regulates pressure, stabilizes heartbeats, and reduces stress levels. Another habit that helps a lot is elevating the legs for a few minutes before lying down. This favors venous return, meaning it helps blood in the legs return more easily to the heart, preventing swelling and improving circulation. You can do this lying in bed with your legs supported on a pillow or against the wall. Deep breathing is also a great ally. Breathing slowly and consciously for a few minutes before sleeping helps slow down the heart rate, reduce anxiety, and prepare the body for rest. This moment of pause and self-care is worth gold. If you like this kind of content, hit like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications to receive more health and wellness tips. We're here to accompany you on this journey with safe, practical information made with care. It's important to understand that these simple changes work when done consistently. There's no point in doing it for just one day and expecting a miracle. But gradually, your body will respond. Your energy will return, and you will feel it in your skin. Improvement comes. Mrs. Margaret, that 74-year-old lady we mentioned at the beginning, adopted some of these tips. Today she makes her tea every night, includes oatmeal in her breakfast, walks slowly in the morning, and takes care of her own heart like someone caring for a delicate plant, with patience and love. And the results came. She has more energy, started going out alone again, and even plays with her grandchildren in the yard. Small actions, big changes. And if you want to solve this once and for all, check out the link we left here in the description with more detailed guidance. There you'll find complete material with ideas for a food plan adapted for people over 60, suggestions for evening menus, and other strategies to keep your heart protected every day. Even as age advances, it's still possible to live with energy, autonomy, and a strong heart. You deserve this. Your body still has the ability to renew itself. Your heart can still beat with joy, rhythm, and strength. You just need to take the first step. Take care of yourself with love. Choose one step at a time. Your body will respond. And when you least expect it, you'll be feeling the difference in your daily life. Your heart has already beaten for many people. Now it's time to beat for you too. And perhaps you're asking yourself, but does this really work? Is it too late for me? And I want to tell you in no uncertain terms, yes, it works. And no, it's not too late. Each body has its own response time, it's true. But all bodies at any age react to care, affection, and consistency. The heart is an incredibly resilient organ. Even after years of bad habits, it can still strengthen when it receives what it needs. It doesn't matter if you're already past 60, 70, or even 80 years old. There is always something that can be done. And the most beautiful thing is realizing that these changes don't need to be painful. They can come with pleasure. A new flavor at dinner, a tea before bed that becomes a ritual, a moment of silence to breathe and be grateful. All of this counts. All of this helps. And all of this brings you closer to a life with more quality. Taking care of your heart is also taking care of your freedom. It's being able to leave the house without fear, walk without feeling short of breath, hug your grandchildren with energy, participate in family moments with disposition. It's about living well the time we have, with fewer limitations and more joy. And if there's one thing life teaches us, it's that it's never too late to start over. It's never too late to take care of yourself. So if you've made it this far, it's because something inside you is saying you want change, that you're ready to take better care of yourself. And that in itself is already a huge step. It's proof that you want more from life. And the good news is that life also wants more from you. You just have to allow it.